now we're gonna run over and stop by another one of our job sites. We're doing putting a bathroom in a basement for a contractor. It's another new contractor we just started working for. Done a couple little projects for them, so far they seem to fit the bill, and do pretty good work. So we're excited to be partnered with them at this time, but it's early. We'll see how things go when it comes time to collect money from them. And a lot of times everything's good when the jobs are going good. It's when jobs don't go right, when there's issues that come up, that determines how good a good contractor and a good subcontractor are. It's just in life, like in life, right? Everybody does good when things are going great, but when adversity strikes you, how do you handle that? That's what separates the good from the bad. But anyway, we're gonna go swing by. We got Mike, my journeyman plumber, is working on this job site, so we're gonna go stop by and I'll get you a little bit of video, show you what this job site looks like. All right, we'll catch you when we get there. See here. This here's the next project I was talking to you about. Mike's been hard at work over here. What's going on, Mr. Mike?
Same old, same old. Getting finished up here with the shower surround here.
Sure.
And
so basically over here, Mike had to break up the floor. This job had a rough in already in the basement. So when they built the house, it's a fairly new house. Somebody put plumbing in the basement for a bathroom and the bar sink, but Mike had to come in here and move the drain. You had to break up the floor, right? And
yeah, a little bit on that. And
yeah, which is common. You always, they frame, the new house plumbers come in, put the drains kind of wherever they want, but they never match up to what's going in. So we got a sectional shower unit in here. So Mike broke up the floor, moved the drain, and then you've got this set in a mortar.
I poured concrete where it broke up, then I put mortar underneath the base.
Okay, all right, cool. Which is how we pretty much do all our shower bases. We use a mortar mix under them, not only to level them, but just to keep them from when you stand on them, they don't flex and crack. Okay. And it looks like you had to break up the floor, move the toilet over
to move that about 2 inches.
All right, so it's 2 inches, the same as moving it 2 foot sometimes, right? It's almost easier to move it, whatever.
It took me a minute to figure out the offset on that one.
Sure. So, and then we'll put the toilet flange later when we come back in. So this house here uses a CPVC water pipe, meaning that's what was in the house. So now that we're here, that's what we have to put in is CPVC. That's our codes. So we put a new shower valve in. You notice we use a copper riser to go from the valve to the shower head. That's codes because this plastic pipe expands and contracts so much, and this has nowhere to go. It's fastened here and it's fastened up there, so that has to be copper so it don't crack. So but Mike's got those nice and secured. The venting was pretty much done. Mike, something I noticed, this is all existing. That vent there, you may want to check. It almost looks like it's got backfall on it. It's nothing we did, but you may want to check it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you have or not.
I glanced at it, but
it just looks like it's got backfall, so I would correct
it's also
that.
An angle too,
Yeah. So if it's, but I don't want to get us red tagged, even though we didn't install that. We're here. So here's the shower walls that Mike will be putting in next. This is the back wall. It's a Sterling unit. By Kohler. We like these Sterling units because the way they snap in, they have a channel then that runs down on the inside of them. When you put them together, you don't actually need any caulk or silicone, right, Mike, on these?
On the door, or where the door would meet up, you want to put a little, they recommend a little L shape of silicone.
Okay. But in the channels on the walls themselves, when these are installed, you won't need.
When they lock in, no.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Just a little bit on where the side walls match up the base.
Okay. All right. And then over here, we had a bar sink. It was already roughed in, but if I remember, they had the drain and the water pipe stubbed out there. So with the new cabinet layout that this homeowner's doing, Mike had to come over and move the drain over so you can kind of get a view of what that all looks like behind the scenes, because next time you see this job, we'll be installing the bar sink, the faucet. They are doing an ice machine here, he said, but it doesn't have an ice maker. or maybe it's a small
It's a
refrigerator. Yeah. So, but anyway,
But
so yeah.
even if that is the case, I can tie it in
Underneath the sink, yeah. So yeah. So basically, that's how that works. What are you ready to do next, Mike? You ready to throw
getting the back wall set up to throw in, and then I can.
Are you like ready for that right now?
I need to clean up the channels.
Okay.
Sometimes there's a little extra slag on there.
Okay.
It makes it easier if I just cut out the extra slag.
Sure. So.
But yeah.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, basically, yeah, like I said, we rough the velving, so he'll put the back wall in first, and then two of each of the side walls, and then we'll screw those down. So
on the valve side, I always set the back wall first, then I can measure where to drill for the valve itself.
Sure, okay. Because then we'll need to drill a hole through the sidewall so that valve sticks out. And that there looks like it's just a Delta. One of the Delta basic monitor, is that what they call that, Mike? Yeah, I think the homeowner or the contractor actually provided that. All we're providing on this job is a toilet, and then this bar sink is going to get one of those glass washers that mount on top. They're kind of new, just came out in the last few months, I think, by Delta. They're getting one of those here. And then we do have a black shower strainer coming. This faucet trim on the shower valve is going to be black. So we've got a black strainer on order that will snap that in at a later time. But when we're done, you'll see Mike here throws down the cardboard, try to protect everything. When we're done with this job, he'll sweep up, he'll clean up all of his stuff. Another thing that we got to do in this here city, these are stud guards here. They require these tall 3-inch ones on the base plates, and then Mike has went through and stud guarded everywhere else that there's a chance. You can see up there that the drywallers can screw through, so we got to go through and take care of all that stuff. So, all right, Mike, honestly, those 3-inch stud guards are something that I wouldn't hurt my feelings to do that on a lot of our jobs. I think that's a good idea.
It's safer for
the that's what they said. The trim carpenter guy comes in and boom.
You don't know where anything is.
So I honestly think those the Omaha where we live, you don't have to necessarily have those. You have to have a stud guard, but it only has to be 1.5 inches. This city here that we're working in, close by Omaha, they require those. So I'll look at the price of those, but I'm going to kind of get Mike here. Do you need a hand with that, or are you good? Or
checking the bottom real quick.
Okay. So you guys, these here are the nicer working conditions that we like working in, nice newer homes. It's beautiful, although, outside right now, 60 degrees, about as perfect conditions of working outside as you can. I just came from that fire job down there in Bellevue. Boy, what a...
Yeah, they got it all demoed.
Well, not all, but what a cluster that's... gonna meet
when I was winterizing it.
Yeah. Service masters there they're still demoing stuff out, and I met with Chris, the owner of Accurate, and we're gonna get him a bid, but he seemed like a good guy, so we'll get him numbers. But it was funny, the HVAC contractor wanted me to do all the gas piping work because they're so busy. He's like, hey, I'm gonna let you have all that. I was like, nope, we don't want it. I'll let you have it because it needs all new gas pipe, and the homeowner wants all black rigid pipe installed. So on gas piping, the old school ways was to do it in the old black iron pipe where you had to cut and thread every fitting. Nowadays we use different, like in this house here, they actually have copper gas going to the water heater.
There's another gas line up above me.
Yeah, the main gas line coming in the house is this new black flash shield. Is that flash shield? Is that what it's called?
That's one of the
and that's pretty much what nowadays is the industry standard. But yeah, on the fire job I just came from, the guy wants it to be all the rigid, the homeowner, because he's worried if he has another fire, will this gas pipe melt and blow him up? So it's a good concern to have, but hopefully you just don't have another fire. So anyway, but that's where we're at right now. So Mike's going to set this back wall now. He told me he doesn't need my help. He said I'll just get in the way.
Exactly.
Basically is how that works, is what he's saying.
I was trying to say it.
We've been together long enough now where I know. Do you realize in September you've been here 15 years? Yeah, September.
It was either 15 or 16.
Yeah, I've got it written down. But okay, so these back walls here of this shower unit. Just kind of goes in. You'll see down here, this thing's just got channels, so it just kind of sits there in the back. That's what's nice about these units here is they'll just sit in. You need me to hold that one at all for you? Or?
Yep. Looks like it went in all the way.
All right. And so basically when Mike's done, I'll hold this one here. If you look up top here, these will actually get screwed in to the studs everywhere. So, but you see this channel here and these little hooks. So the next sidewall is just going to come, there you go. The next sidewall is just going to snap in there and kind of slide down. That's what makes these units nice, is you can install them from the front and one guy can do it. It doesn't, you know, the old type ones we used to do bolted together, meaning you had to put the shower unit together out here, climb behind it, use nuts and bolts and put it together. It was so tough to do. So
sometimes you couldn't even, there was no access.
Yeah, there was no room. In a basement like this, you could do it, but a lot of our remodels, there's no room to do that, you know.
Put it together in the room and then
push it in. Yeah, it was tough. So these are nice units, you know, they're just builder grade, nothing special about them, but they got some shelves on them, nice little design in the middle. But you know, they're sturdy. Like I said, we put a mortar base underneath the base to kind of keep it from flexing and level it up. But you'll see here. Why don't you go ahead, Mike? You want to grab that side wall?
I want to get this secured first.
Oh, okay. So what Mike does up here, if you see, he's actually pre-drilling holes first with his drill bit. That way, when he goes and puts his drywall screws in, the head doesn't protrude out there. So those are just those little extra steps that professionals do. I'm pretty sure I taught him that trick, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I taught him that trick back in the day.
You probably learned it from me when you hired me.
No, that was my cousin Dave. I gotta give Dave credit for, he showed me that one years ago. So basically everything good that Mike does, I taught him. Anything bad he does, he learned on his own. So
that's why you always call me for the code questions.
Right. So sorry, I hope this all went good. I had fingerprints on the camera, so but yeah, I'll kind of show you this here again. So Mike pre-drilled these holes with the bit
in for now,
and then you can see how nice and flush the drywall screw. And we actually use galvanized screws or even brass screws. Technically that's all behind drywall, you'll never see it, but we like using waterproof screws. Throws the level on. And remember guys, this is where framing is important, okay? We can only do so much. It takes the carpenters to make sure the walls are square, plumb. There's not much give on these fiberglass units. So we got to make sure we do our part to get them in correctly or whatever. So, but here you can see the channel and the hooks at the next wall. So he's going to put this side wall in, and then later on he'll put this one in, because he's got to drill the hole in the unit. So.
Cleaned up the wrong one.
What's that?
I cleaned up the wrong one.
Oh, okay. So basically what he's talking about when he's saying clean up is go through and just all this little bit of fiberglass overhang, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the little extra slag.
Yeah, see, he goes through with the razor knife and just kind of cleans those edges up so that they snap together. Like here you can see a great example. See all this hanging off there? So what he's doing is just taking his razor knife and he kind of runs down here and just cleans this edge up. You want nice and smooth edges.
Carefully.
Yeah, carefully. Yeah. Just that extra step, man, that a good plumber will do. All right.
Need in there?
Yeah, go ahead. You do your part. So Mike here just takes it, uses his hand, kind of pushes the edge in the slot there. See how nice and tight that seam is? Boom. And now that just pushed down in the top there.
Feels good there.
You see you got a nice tight seam on the bottom, everything lines up. So see, you don't need to silicone or anything that channel right there, because the way this system is designed. On a lot of these shower units, they want you to use a bead of caulk and do on those seams. Well, the problem then with that is down the road, that caulk gets all mildewy, it gets all you know, it's a leak potential. So that's what we like about these Sterlings. And we've installed what, Mike? Thousands, you know, hundreds if not. Yeah, I mean, in 15 years, you got to think how many of these you've installed, you know what I mean? And honestly, if we ever had one callback on a leak, on an issue that wasn't, you know, maybe a manufacturer defect or somebody, remember that apartment complex we did where guys came in and put their foot through them, all vandalism, but nah, that's not really our fault, you know.
I take that back. We had one where the electrician put their ladder on the back.
Yeah, and broke it, but yeah, that's nothing you can control. Yeah, so anyway, so again, pre-drilling. So this flange here is part of the wall, so that just goes up and you screw that in. That's what fastens. And then the drywall here, I'll show you on the back, will actually come down over the top of this flange right here, and that's what creates your sill. Pretty neat little system here. And then they'll have a bead of caulk around the top of that shower that they put in. So yeah, again, Mike's just drilling holes.
Put my hand there to try to protect so the drill doesn't go through.
Sure.
And mark up the wall itself. So.
All right, buddy. Well, I gotta get off to the next job. I gotta go back and jump in the truck and run over to another job and cap off a water line, I guess. They're trying to get water on at that other house that had a fire job. So what do you got left here? Finish up this walls. I would double check that vent. Yeah, clean up good and stuff. And then, like I said, call the contractor, let them know you're done. Give me a call when you're done, and we'll see where the day goes. If there's time to do anything else. If not, we'll get you geared up for tomorrow's project. We're going to go demo a bathroom for the contractor to come in. So I think that's it. All right. You got her under control?
Always.
All right, brother. We'll see you. Take it easy, man.
Take it easy.
All right. It's always a good sign of a good contractor here that protects the stairs, protects the entranceway. It's the kind of stuff we like to see. If the contractor didn't do it, we'd do it. So there you go. All right, so you got to see that job there. That's in the rough end top out phase, we call it. So Mike's doing a great job, man. When you got employees like Mike, other than me stopping by and videoing that, I don't need to stop by these jobs with my guys unless I'm bringing them material or something, or I'm helping them out. But stuff like that, Mike's a hell of a plumber. Honestly, one of the best around. So you know, he handles those kind of jobs, doesn't need my help at all. So anyway, it'd be nice to be able to find him a laborer or an apprentice, help him carry tools in and out. But man, we're so short-handed around here. Hard to get guys to get into the trade to do it, but it's good, easy money. And some days it's not. So all right, we'll catch you on the next one.